What's up, guys? My name is Phil. Welcome back to Miranda Detailing, and welcome back to another weekend wash. So it's been a couple of weeks since we applied some protection on our hood, and we're going to wash the vehicle today, pull it into the garage, and see how the protection has been holding up. And then we also want to try out a few new things here in our garage shop. So we have the quick jacks, and we haven't even had a chance to use them yet. We put them all together. They're pretty easy to put together, so we'll show you a quick little tutorial on how to connect things, and then we're going to show you how they work on a vehicle like this. Now, there are some pros and cons to using these style quick jacks, these lifts for your vehicle, and we're also going to be showing you guys a new cordless power washer. So first of all, let's look at the car. Now, it has been sitting out here under the trees, unfortunately. It sat out here during a storm that we had this past week, a couple of days ago, and it still doesn't look horrible. The rain kind of washed it, which is nice. But you can see, there's some gunk towards the bottom. That's pretty much what we're dealing with here. It's not really heavy buildup of mud and gunk. It's just a few pine needles here and there, a little bit of film on the surface that we want to remove. But primarily, we're going to be looking at the hood because we applied protection, 3 different types of sealants on the hood. So the first one, we have hydrosilics that came in the new little packets. We have Ethos Defy in the center, and then we have the new Turtle Wax Seal and Shine Improved formula on this side. So we're going to see how those bead, how it's held up. I think it's been about 2-3 weeks, something like that. You can check out the video up there in the corner of when we applied this. But looking at the rest of the vehicle, really not bad. So we'll clean her up and then we'll pull it in the garage and work on some other things. So guys, here is the little pressure washer that I was talking about. It's a little battery powered cordless power washer. Some really interesting features with this thing. Now, I was thinking this thing was going to be really pathetic and weak and not work at all, but I was pleasantly surprised. So this is the company that makes it, and I'll have links to this down below, and I'll show you how it works. It comes with a couple different attachments. It comes with this long lead hose here that you put in a bucket of water. So we'll try this out on the vehicle and see how it works. Now, we also have the quick jacks. So if you saw the garage floor video, you're going to see that we had these on the floor here, and then I hung them back up because they actually are raised a little bit off the floor. So we were able to install the raised deck flooring with, not a problem with these hanging up. But this series here, these are the 5000 model of the quick jacks. So they are rated up to 5000. From what I've heard, they can go a little above that, but you don't want to do that on a regular basis. So these are the BL5000 SLX models. And I do have the cords raveled up there, and I do have the little solenoid that I usually have here, but I think I have it parked over there for now. But I'll remove that and get everything connected. And then these are the frame extensions. So these two go on top of those jacks there to be able to lift this, because the jacking points on the Avalon, one here, they're so far apart that the regular quick jacks could not reach them. So we had to order these. Now, I haven't even tested it yet, so we'll see if these even reach them. So those are some things to keep in mind. Which models do you need? I believe the 6000 model are a little bit longer, so they can accommodate larger vehicles. This is kind of considered a luxury vehicle, and it's really, really long. The wheelbase is super long, and the pinch welds are really far apart. So after we wash it, we'll bring it in and dry it down. We'll look at the paint and we'll go over all of those, and then we'll see if we can work with these quick jacks and install them. And we're going to put them on the floor here. And if you're worried about anything scratching the floor, because you do have to drag these around on the floor a little bit to adjust them, I have a tip for you. So stay tuned for that. All right, guys, let's get to washing the vehicle, and let's see how the little cordless pressure washer works, and we'll see how the protection is lasting on the hood. Now, the first thing you're going to need is, well, a bucket of water. So I'm going to put the lead hose into the bucket of water to be able to use it to spray down the paint. So that's the one thing that you just have to remember. I mean, it's cordless, but of course, water is not wireless. So you need a bucket of water. Now there's a couple different ways of doing this also to keep things organized. This could really be a cool way to offer pressure washing on a vehicle or detailing in a mobile setting with just a few gallons of water. So you can do it with just 5 gallons of water. We'll see how much we use when washing and rinsing the vehicle down. I'm just going to fill this bucket up and go from there, and let's see how much water we actually use up. So this might be a great tool for mobile detailers if you want something cordless, and if you don't want to be lugging around tons of gallons of water and have a pressure washer and all this noise going on. It's just an option. So let's see how it works. Oh, hi. So guys, here's the little pressure washer. This is what it comes with. It comes with a couple of different lances, and these are easily removed, and you have different options. So you can simply put this on the gun. You can put this one, which is really cool. I really like this one. Or you can extend it. So you can put this wand and then have this wand on it, and you have like almost, 2.5 feet. So nice options. I really like that. So I'll try them both. I'll try this little nozzle here too, because it has a couple of different options that you can rotate and click. And it also comes with a little soap bottle. So we'll try that out. Usually these are not foam cannons or foam style. Even though it says foam, it's more just to apply soap onto the vehicle. So we'll test it out. We'll see how well it does. But I have been using it just like this. So this little nozzle here clicks in, and then it rotates, which is really awesome. Now, I believe this is probably a 40-degree tip on here, one of the widest ones, so it's a safe one to use. And, the balance of the machine itself, the power washer, and the build quality is decent. I would say they could probably use maybe a heavier duty plastic, but it's fine. It doesn't have to be extremely heavy duty. This is not a DeWalt or a Makita tool or anything like that. It's something simple and affordable that will work completely fine. So don't think to yourself that you have to buy the most expensive name brand stuff. Just stop thinking that way and stop listening to the people that say if you don't use the high-end tools, then you're not a detailer or you're not doing it right. No. Doesn't make sense. That's not logic. So let's use this gun, and I already charged everything up. The batteries remove really easily like this, and they charge through a little port like that. So it does come with 2 batteries. So I have one over there that's all fully charged. I charged this one up the other day. You can see the lights here, so you can check your battery levels. So really nice and handy, and it stays upright like that, so it doesn't fall to the sides or anything. And then we have the lead hose that will draw up the water. So this does suck up water from a static source, which is really handy to have. It does have a little filter here at the end. This goes into the bucket of water. Now, the one thing I would suggest, as you see it going in the bucket there, it does kind of float to the surface. So I had an idea of drilling a hole in one of the 5-gallon bucket containers. And what you can do is actually remove this, and you can just cut it here. That way you can actually drill a hole this size of the tube and lead it through, and then you can connect it back up to here and connect everything back, and you'll be fine. So the good thing about this is you can replace this hose. These hoses are like, what, a 1/2-inch hose, like a braided clear hose. You can find those at Walmart or online or at Lowe's or any of those stores. So if you have a leak in this, you can replace it or make it longer. So I like that. I like the ability to be able to do that, and it's not just locked in place and all plastic welded and you can't get into it. You can't replace it if you have a leak. This you can actually replace. So I like companies that do that. They have it designed so that you can replace parts, because if this leaks and you can't replace the part, or you have to buy the whole new part, then it's not worth it to me. I want things that you can replace and fix. So this connects right to the bottom, easy quick connect, and that's all it is. You basically, I'm going to point it over there. It's going to suck up the water. Woo! All right, good. it actually has some power. It also has this little button here for like an economy mode, but it just, you know, puts the pressure down a little bit. I'm not going to use it that way. So I'll just use it like this and it's completely fine. So let's get to rinsing with it and see how it works. So is it super, super powerful? No, it's not, but it's enough. It's definitely enough pressure. So this is just the rinsing phase, and let's look at the ability to rinse down the panels and wheels and tires. All right, not bad at all. I'm pretty impressed. And look how much water it's used. Well, maybe almost a gallon. So that's just to rinse down, you know, the hood and this one side. So let's attach the little attachment for the soap, and we'll play with that other little wand there. So we're going to detach this lance. We're going to attach this one. And just to show you, there's like a shower mode, which is kind of weird. But then we have 0. Wow. Yep, that's pretty powerful. 20% or 20 degree. And then, oh, it's like a 20-degree angle. And then 40. And then foam. So that'll start to draw from here. So let's see. This thing looks like a little grenade. All right. Yep, that locks in place. Oh, wow. That's not too bad. I mean, it's not like a foam cannon or anything, but for what it is, yeah. So granted, it's nothing super, super thick, but that's okay. I'm gonna wash it like that. It's actually getting slightly chilly out that I feel like I need to put hot water in this bucket. I don't know if I can run hot water through there. I really doubt it. So you don't want to ruin those little motors by putting hot water in there. It can damage things. So you can leave the lance on here and just do the 40%. Keep saying percent, 40 degree. Or you can switch it out and put the extra long lance on here, and that works really well. The long lance is nice, but I think I like the short one better. I'm just used to working with the snub nose lance, a lot easier to handle. All right, that's used about 2.5 gallons of water now. So that's pretty much half the vehicle. What has happened to our hood? Here's the hood, and the soap I used was actually G-Technic G-Wash. Interesting. Well, the hydrosilics looks like it's pretty dead here. Ethos Defy is hanging on. And Turtle Wax over there, the Seal and Shine, is hanging on and sheeting really slowly. But the Defy looks like to be beating out all of them. I just don't know why it's not beating at all. It's pretty crazy. I mean, it was out here for 2 weeks in this crazy weather underneath the trees, and the trees landed all sorts of leaves on here. And I blew them all off, and then it rained again on it. So, yeah, it didn't seem to really hang on at all. Not sure what happened with the hydrosilics here. I mean, it was polished and it was prepped with the little prep pad and then applied. Not sure what's going on. So, I mean, here you can clearly see the distinction. You can see the line. Let me go over here. That way there we go. The light is a little better from this angle. Let's try something. I'm going to dry it, and maybe there's just residue on here that could be affecting it. We'll see. The paint still feels nice and smooth and slick. That's the weird thing. Yeah, I think it was just residue. So I don't know what was happening, but I think there was some residue on here from the G-Technic G-Wash soap. Now that I think about it, I think it was an old bottle. Maybe something happened with it, or I don't know. But it was masking the results. So let's spray it and see what it looks like now. So the Seal and Shine here is still holding, it's at least sheeting. The Ethos Defy, you can see it breaking up and it's sheeting. And the hydrosilics over there is pretty much gone. So, you know what? I'm not sure what happened with this. It was sitting out here for 2+ weeks. And it went through a storm and there was lots of leaves and junk that stayed on the paint for like a day or two. And I had to wipe it off the paint and blow it off the paint, and then it was rained on again. So it really took a beating. So not sure what's going on. I'm going to try a different shampoo and see if we can revive it. Maybe there's just more residue. But let's pop the hood, and you'll see all of the pine needles stuck, in there. That was just a little bit of what was on the vehicle. It was just plastered with pine needles and leaves. So let's see if we can blast that out with the pressure washer. Oh, not bad at all. All right, so, I mean, it does have a little bit of power that it can blast some leaves out. Not completely, but pine needles love to hang on. Ooh. Yeah, that's about as good as it can get. So I switched the soap out with Total Detailing's Drift soap. Big difference. It actually washed away the residue. So now we can start to see some results. Now the Seal and Shine is beating and sheeting much, much better. Still not perfect, but much better. The Ethos Defy. That's also starting to do much, much better. You can see the clear, distinct line here. So the Seal and Shine definitely sheds the water quicker. This is still sheeting slowly, but you can see that it's still there. It's still not as good as the other two. So it still took a beating from the trees and the rain and all of that, but at least it's starting to make a comeback, so that is good. So I'm loving Total Details Drift Soap. It is so nice. It cleans really well, it's nice and slick, and it doesn't leave behind any type of residue. In fact, it actually cleaned whatever the residue that was on here off. So really nice soap. I am loving it more and more each time I use it. And I still only put maybe about 1.5 ounces, maybe 2 ounces in here, and only filled this up. I didn't even fill it up all the way with water. So only about 3/4 of the way up, and still it only used that much. So I could wash the entire car with just this. True, it doesn't make a ton of foam because of what this is. It's not a true foam cannon. But for what it is, it does work, and it works pretty well. So if you don't want the whole pressure washer setup, you want something very simple and easy, then this is a good choice. Now, Seal and Shine is coming back, and Ethos is looking much better on the hood as well. Oh yeah, much better. Now I did have to fill up the 5-bucket gallon of water again, so you're probably looking at about 10 gallons of water, most likely, which again, is really not bad. So the Avi is pulled in, and it's all clean now. And you can see the hood, the protection, you know, it's still hanging on there. And after a couple of minutes, everything does kind of sheet off and leave some beads on the paint. So you can definitely see that there's protection. But man, the trees out there and all the rainfall that we had, it just destroys protection on vehicles. So the coating on the top, the Avalon King coating, that is still holding really strong. So that was beating up like crazy. It was looking great. And a few of the other panels that we put some protection on, in fact, Torque was on this side, and that was actually beating pretty well. Not great, but pretty well. We had some protection on the trunk lid here, just some different type of silica sprays, and that was okay. It still feels nice and slick, but, you know, wasn't beating as much. The other panels that I had here, they're doing okay. The stuff that I have on here was doing really well. It was beating up really well still. So that's a good testimony to the product that I have on there, that I can't say what's on there. But let's dry it, and then we're going to get to playing around with the quick jacks and lift the vehicle up. So I'm going to use a new product from Extreme Solutions. Their topper. I'm comparing this kind of like to Bead Maker. I don't know about the durability on this yet. If it's anything like the Jersey Devil, it does have some good durability. But like Bead Maker, it's super slick and it does bead nicely. It's meant to be just a topper on top of previously applied waxes and sealants. So I'm just going to use a nice auto fiber twisted loop drying towel and just mist it and just dry the paint with it very gently. So it's meant to be a topper on existing protectants. Now, if you're not the type that likes toppers and you just want to see the durability of the product itself, yeah, I guess, you know, there is some thing to that. But when you're maintaining vehicles as a business, you always want to put some sort of topper on the paint. You never just let it go and assume that the protection that you applied onto it weeks or months ago is just going to do fine. You know what? When it comes to durability of products, there are a lot of factors that come into play. Just like you saw here, it was out just 2 weeks out in the elements and all the leaves and junk were on the paint. It actually created a little stain right here that I just noticed. So that really is harsh on protectants. And you saw that even Seal and Shine all the way over there definitely took a hit. It's still there, but it definitely took a hit. So this is going to help. This is going to just add another layer of protection on top of what you already have. Now I can see I may have applied a little bit too much. I'm causing I'm seeing a little bit of smearing. Oh, but you know what? It does start to kind of go away after a while. But I may have just applied too much. So just a quick mist and then dry the paint. Oh, wow. Yup, look at that. That's insane. Let me show you what happened to the paint. So guys, this is why I really stress having some sort of cover over your vehicle, not a car cover, a car port. Pull your vehicle under something. Don't put something on your car like one of those car covers. But look, yep, that is some sort of a bird dropping or something that was on the paint and then it rained and leaves covered it and it just etched into the paint. That wasn't there before. And it's really etched in the paint. Now, will I be able to compound that out? Probably even just a light polish will work. But man, it really destroyed my paint. Already there's some marks down here. That was just 2 weeks. So guys, when it comes to durability of products, when it comes to taking care of your vehicle, this is the reality. Your paint is going to get marked up. It's going to get trashed if it's a daily driver or if it's kept outside all the time. That's just the way it is. There's no magical product that you can put on your paint that is going to resist everything and anything all the time for years and years and years. The only thing that would help against that type of stuff would be PPF film. So you can film your entire car, but you know, if you want to spend thousands of dollars doing that, that's up to you. And then it would prevent things like that. That might be on the PPF film, that mark there, but you'd be able to lightly polish that out, or it may not even stain the PPF as much as it does here on the paint. So I can feel it just slightly, but the paint is still so slick and smooth. But the problem is that really stinks. So my poor trunk, it was just polished a couple of weeks ago, and already, wow, there's so many marks in it from the trees. Sap. I have sap, and I think I had some sticks, some branches, small branches hit the trunk because these marks were not here before. So, this stinks. Unfortunately, that's just the reality of dealing with having vehicles that are out in the elements. Unfortunately, it's just what you have to deal with. You know, deal with the reality that your vehicle, your paint, is going to get trashed. Again, it feels slick. I'm sure the protection is still under there somewhere, or the paint is smooth because it's polished, but the protection just gets eaten away from the elements. Sap and tree junk and leaves, you know what? That stuff is tenacious. It will really eat through your clear coat and it'll eat through the protection that you have on here as well. So sometimes it's a little defeating. If you were working on a customer's car, if this was a customer's car and they left it outside, you have to communicate with them. You have to tell them, you know, well, it's a possibility that the protection may not last. You keep your car outdoors. It gets rained on. It has trees that drop all sorts of junk on it. And unfortunately, that's just going to be the reality of it. It is so defeating and frustrating. Oh, well, that is just the way it is. It stinks. Now you can see all these marks on the glass here. You can feel them. It's kind of hard to see. Let me see if I can focus. Yeah, you can see all these marks. These are sap marks on the glass. Yep, all these smudges you can see on the glass. Yep, you see that with when the light passes it? So that didn't even come off with the wash or the quick detailer. It is sap. So I have to go at it with a little bit more aggression. So I'm going to use my panel wipe, my IPA. It's a 20% plus mixture. And it should be strong enough to cut through that. Yep, okay, it is. Good. But I can feel it. I can feel the like chunks of sap on the glass. So I know that it's on the paint as well. So guys, look at the roof. Look how bad it is. These are new marks. These were not here before. So sitting under the trees outside, it just really destroys paint. And again, this is soft, black, finicky paint. So it's always getting marks in it. It's not very resilient, unfortunately. And no matter what protection I put on it, it doesn't matter. There's no ceramic coating or anything that is a magical coating or protection on your paint that is going to stop everything. It's unrealistic. So I'm showing you all the flaws on purpose to show you the reality of owning a vehicle with black finicky paint. So if this was a customer's vehicle, you'd have to explain to them what is going on. So as you see here, look at that. It just got trashed, and it was only 2 weeks. It's not to say that those products that I put on here are garbage, because they're not. I've had Seal and Shine last months and months and months on this car, but it wasn't under the trees like that. So yeah, there's definitely something to say about your car being out in the elements and the durability of products. So if your car is garaged all the time and it's in here in a garage and taken care of, you're most likely not going to see marks like this. But in the real world, when your vehicle is outside and you can't help but have your vehicle outside, you don't have a garage, then this is the reality. You are going to have marks in the paint. It's just going to happen. There's nothing that can stop it unless you have your car under some sort of cover. Not a car cover. Don't confuse my words. Not a car cover. You don't want to put anything physically touching on the vehicle. You want like a carport, something over it just to protect it from things falling on it. That is going to be the biggest contributor to the durability on your vehicle of the products, because the water, stuff falling from the trees, the leaves themselves, all sorts of sap and things hitting the paint, that will destroy any protection on your paint. From coatings all the way to waxes, it doesn't matter. It will destroy the protection on your paint. So this is just living proof of it. I protect it as best as possible with some of the best products, and I leave it outside. And this is what happens. That's reality. So now let's play with the quick jacks. We're going to set them up, we'll connect them, we'll show you how they connect, and then we'll be able to lift the vehicle up. So first of all, when you do have quick jacks like this, if you have space in your garage, it really is nice to hang them up like this, flat on the wall, out of the way. This I did bolt to, of course, the framing and the wall, so that way it's nice and strong, because these things are pretty heavy. So if you have a bad back or bad knees like I do, be really careful, because I don't want to throw out my back. So I got to be very, very gentle with these. However, these do come with wheels on the bottom here, which is really cool. So now with the hoses here, we want to make sure that they're out of the way in this position right here. Let me show you, because you can't see anything. So once you have them on the floor here, you want the hoses here to go under here, because this is where nothing is going to have it hang up. The wheels are right here, so it should go just like this. This is the right side of the vehicle, the passenger side of the vehicle. This is going to be where the hoses are, facing the back side of your vehicle. So then when you place it under there, the hoses are going to be over here. Now, can you place it the other way? Yes, you can. It's fine to do that. In fact, you can even place these perpendicular like this across the vehicle. But remember, the vehicle is going to lift slightly this way or that way. So when we put it on the vehicle here, it's going to slightly lift it forward a few inches. So remember that variance. Make sure that things are out of the way, and you'll see how the vehicle lifts up. It doesn't go straight, it goes up and forward just a little bit, or backward just a little bit, depending on how these are positioned. Now, another thing to remember is underneath these, when we lift them up, you're going to notice that I had these on the concrete, and the welds here actually dragged across the concrete and would scratch them. It's going to do the same thing to my new floor here, and I don't want that to happen. So here's how we can fix that. I got carpet tiles, self-adhesive carpet tiles. They're super cheap. I'll have links to these down below. Now, what am I going to do with these? Well, they're very, very thin, and you peel off the backing, and they're nice and soft. So you can glue them to the bottom of the quick jacks. That way they slide on the floor without scratching anything. So let's see how that works. So here are some things to keep in mind when we're going to be installing these little cheapy carpet tiles. You do want to clean the bottom of this really well. So I'm going to IPA it. That way it removes any type of stuff that might be on there. That way this has a fighting chance to stick on there. Now, is this really going to stick on there forever? Probably not. They're really, really cheap, but it comes in a pack of 12. So I'm not really worried about that. So I am going to spray the bottom of this, wipe it nice and clean. So basically the whole bottom here, I want carpeted. I want these to be all covered so that they're not scratching our nice floors. So that might be something that you want to think about as well. You want all of this covered. So instead of doing huge pieces like across the whole thing like that, I think I'm going to cut strips and glue the strips. Here, I'll probably put one block and then the rest of them strips. I know it seems like a lot of work, but trust me, you don't want these scratching your floors. So guys, the little carpet tiles were chopped up and they went across the back perfectly. I know, ignore that. It's not a big deal. You're not going to see them. This is just to protect all of the welding points and to protect your floors. And that really is sticky, really sticky stuff. If you try to peel it up, it leaves like that residue on there. So, all right, let's flip it over and see how it works. So gently, we're going to flip it. Oh, that's awesome. Look at that. It slides with no scratching sound. Perfect. This is perfect. I'm going to do the same thing to the other one, and then we'll connect everything. All right, guys, the other one is done. I actually did a little bit of a better job aligning all of that. So all of the bottom metal exposed pieces are now covered with the carpet tile. And I got to tell you, it's really, really nice. It sticks on there extremely well. So look now at how this slides. That's awesome. There's no scratching. There's no points that are gouging up my floor. So if you are having problems with that, just buy some cheap little carpet tiles, gluable ones, and glue them to the bottom. All of the bottom metal weld points are just the whole bottom frame that touches the floor. And now it will be perfectly slidable. So let's see if I can roll this over. There we go. And the wheels here, of course, you don't want the hose there. You want the hose like this. It goes under this part here. So this one is going to go on the other side, like so. Then we'll drop it. And then we have these tools here. So these were all hung up and organized. These little guys here will now be able to push and pull the jack when it's underneath the vehicle. So this will slide quite nicely right under the vehicle. Look how nice that slides. Oh, I'm so happy that worked. So we'll align that. Let's align this one. We'll show you how we do that. So with, oh, I love that. I love that I can just slide it and it works so well. Now, these here are the little safety devices. These will lift up, or this will lift up, of course, and these will snap and lock into place each step of the way. But you know what? Before I do this, I need to put the frame extensions on this. So the frame extensions go into place like so. I have the pinch weld blocks that go into place like so. So let's see. These actually need to go. There we go. Now they're locked into place. And they can go right under, and make sure that they go under where the pinch welds need to be. So basically, you're just going to keep on making sure that everything is aligned properly. There we go. That is looking like they reach. Oh, finally. Right there. All right, good. Looking great. I'll do the same thing on the other side. So they are aligned as best as possible. I have to connect everything and then start to slowly lift them. And as they lift, you have to go around to each jacking point and make sure that the pinch weld blocks are lining up perfectly. Once they do, then you can lift it up with no problem. But it does take some time. You want to be precise. So make sure to get everything aligned perfectly. And then once you have the vehicle up in the air, you're good to go. So this you fill up with hydraulic fluid or even transmission fluid. And we went through the whole priming process, making sure everything works. And basically you plug it in, and then here you have your up and down buttons. Now, we also need our cables here, which we have neatly stored away. So we'll connect all of these. They're very, very simple. Once you connect everything, they go into these right here. And once you have them all connected and you turn everything on, then you can start lifting. All right, so these are both female ends. They're both the same. So what we're gonna do is connect one to the bottom here. They click into place very, very easily. And when we were testing it, we had no leaks, no problems. And these little things also twist. This is really cool. So when you are connecting everything, they snap into place. They're, you know, your usual quick connects. But you see that little valve right there, that little ball? It goes into place. This is how you disconnect it easily. But now, to connect it, oh, I gotta put the camera down for a second. Hold on. All you need to do, push them. And then you twist this. You twist it out of the way because then it won't disconnect. The little safety. Isn't that cool? So you just twist it. That way it won't pop out. You do the same over here. Just twist it just so it doesn't pop out. So the other side is clicked into place. This one is now clicked and turned the safety off. All right, so, and this thing also, this reservoir, you want to loosen this so that air can go in and out. Otherwise, it crushes this. And now we have juice. So, like I said, everything was aligned just for now. I'm not going to just lift her up thinking that I have everything perfectly aligned. We're going to lift it up slowly. And as we do so, we're going to make sure that all those pinch weld blocks are placed properly. So I'm going to keep adjusting it as I lift it. All right, so it lifted up, it shifted a little bit, but it was okay. I double checked everything. So I'm going to very carefully just double check. Yep, that looks good. All right. Now, it's in the first locking position. So it's up. It's looking good. Everything seems to be aligned. It's locked into place. Cool. All right. I think that's it. All right. All right, that's it. So it's locked into place, and this is the highest it's going to go. It's pretty awesome. Yeah. So we can take off the wheels easily. We can actually work around here and polish lower panels pretty easily. We can work on the vehicle if we need to take the wheels off for any reason, work on brakes, mechanical stuff, whatever. It's really, really nice. I'm loving it. So let's take a look around. So how cool is that, guys? Very, very happy with it. Now, while it's up in this position, you can take these right off. It's locked in place. You make sure you go around and you make sure that those are locked in place. Now, I do have more blocks. It's actually sitting almost flush on there, even with the pinch weld block in there. But what I can do is put another block in there before I raise it. That'll raise it up another 2 inches or so, which is completely fine to do. So, and if you don't want to do that, you can even put like a block of wood in there so it stays stationary. Look at me, I'm all dirty. Look at a mechanic. But this is great. Now, when you're going to lower the vehicle, you need to make sure these are all out of the way. Now, if we're going to be working on the vehicle for a couple of days and leaving it like this, which is fine to do. It's locked in place. It's not going anywhere. We disconnect these, and that way we don't have these rolling around here. We can push everything to the wall and keep it organized and basically tuck the little, hoses underneath the car. But I am loving this. This is nice, guys. So this worked really, really well. Loving that we're able to lift it high enough so that we can, again, work on lower parts of the bumpers. Whoops. Misty's food. Yeah, this is great. We can even turn the wheel now to clean in there or take it off. We can apply tire dressings, all of that stuff. This is great. I'm loving these new quick jacks. The carpet idea on the bottom, brilliant. I'm really, really happy that it turned out well. That way nothing gets scratched, nothing gets ruined. While it's up like this, here is another benefit to having floors like this. We can now mop our floors. I'm going to put just a little bit of APC, a little citrus APC in there. Now we can blow out dry debris, and then we can mop our floors. That way things are going to be nice and clean and sterile in here, kind of like a surgery. You can dry mop first if you want, but, it doesn't make a difference. Now we have nice clean floors. If we were doing a full detail on this, a full paint correction and coatings, I would clean everything up, mop all the floors nicely. That way we have a nice dust-free, relatively dust-free surgical area to be able to polish and apply coatings. Much, much better situation now. These are also great for a mobile situation. If you want to bring jacks like this in your truck or your van to a customer's location, you can. I really wouldn't advise it. I don't think it would be that great of a thing to do to bring it to someone's house. It's a possibility, it's an option, but it's way better to have it in your garage. That way, you have a controlled area. So, can you bring it mobily? Yes. Is it advisable? That's up to you. You make that decision. I can't make that decision for you because everyone's situation is different. So for us, this is great. This is really going to be a nice upgrade to our details and to our shop. All right, so let's put her down, disconnect everything, and we'll go from there. Now what we're going to do, it's raised all the way up and it was in the locking position. So we're going to show you how to lower these safely, because there is a little trick to it. Not really a trick. It's just something to be wary of and to do it correctly. So now that it's in locking position, that's not going anywhere. So you need to raise it up slightly, release the arm, and lift that up. That little joint there is going to now slide all the way down without getting stuck, without being attached onto the points here. So that's all you need to do. Just lift the arm up and this automatically goes into place. So we'll do that on both sides. Make sure the hoses are out of the way of the tires. Now we're lower, and notice what happens when we lower it. As it hits the floor, it's going to slide just a little bit. It'll adjust. See how it slides a little bit? It's okay. It's designed to do that. And go all the way down. All right. Now we're good to go. Beautiful. So now we can disconnect everything. So we'll disconnect everything. We'll organize everything over there nicely. And we'll call it a day. So guys, that's it. Quick jacks are back in place. Everything is organized down here. We have our cords back in place there. I might have a better hanging system here for these cords, but so far that's working well. And these hang up really nicely, nice and organized. And the frame extensions go over here. So this works out really well. So it turns out it comes with these, but I really don't even need these. They slide perfectly on the floor. Now, did it do any damage to the floor? Let's see. No, nothing that I can see. Nope. Nope. It can take many tons of weight, so that's pretty awesome. And then the pinch weld blocks and the other blocks stay up there. Oh, hi Mac Shine Refresh. So the other blocks will stay up here. The pinch weld ones you'll need for the pinch welds, and then you can stack these as well to make these higher or whatever you need. So it does come with these, which is nice. So guys, that's going to do it for the weekend wash. I was really excited to try out the quick jacks and this new cordless pressure washer. So guys, for what it is, an electric pressure washer that's very affordable, it's actually pretty decent. I got the whole car washed and I used, actually not even 10 gallons. When I went back to check, I used about 8 gallons of water. It's pretty decent. Now you can use whatever water you want, your tap water. The water here is well water at this house, but it's run through a whole house filter. It's not a reverse osmosis filter or water softener or anything like that. The well water here is actually really nice. So it's just a sediment filter, a whole house sediment filter. It's equivalent to, I would say, an RV filter, so that you have nice drinking water. It filters out a bunch of stuff. So it works really well. I don't have any problems with water spotting with our jobs. I fill my mobile tank with it completely fine. I don't have problems. So working with a machine like this, we fill up the 5-gallon bucket, and my dad actually hooked the hose onto the handle here with little zip ties. So basically this bucket will now be my cordless power washer bucket, and I just put the hose in it. All the accessories go right in it, not a problem at all. And you can even put this right in it if you want. The power of this is sufficient. I definitely would say it is stronger than just a regular garden hose. The other electric pressure washer that I have here, the Homdex, I would say it's in between a garden hose and that pressure washer. But, you know, with this nozzle, where'd it go? Well, the other soap nozzle. Oh, here it is. This one right here. So it's not a real foam cannon. It just, you know, puts soap on the vehicle, and it does foam it up a little bit, but it's sufficient. For mobile detailers, this could work really well. For maintenance details, really nice little foam soapy cannon. It's actually a lot better than other ones that I've used. And I like this head on here too, because you can shift from 40 degrees all the way down to 0. And guys, it's powerful. Just putting my hand out at this length, it was still hurting. So it puts out pressure. So it's pretty decent. So you do have the foaming, 40 degree, 20 degree angle, and then 20 degree regular straight out. So some pretty interesting options on here. Then you have the shower. So that's more like a garden hose, of course. It's not really putting out pressure. But once you do get to the 40 degree and the 20 degree, it is substantial. It's really, really good. For a little cordless unit like this, it's pretty powerful. So I like the fact, I'm going to put this in here. I like the fact that this short nozzle here has the head here. I think this is actually like a 20 degree tip. It looks like it comes out at about 20 degrees. It's pretty powerful, and I like the fact that it articulates like this. So you can actually get under wheel wells and into door jambs, into other areas really well. And not only does it go left and right, but you can twist it in the gun itself and go up and down. So a lot of articulating action with this thing. Pretty impressive. So guys, you know, it's up to you. You don't have to go out and get this. But if you are a mobile guy, or you're washing your own car, say at an apartment complex or a place that you can't bring a hose and a pressure washer and all that stuff, this is a great option for that. Just bring out your 5-gallon buckets. Maybe just 2 of them would be fine, or 3, however many buckets. That at least is easy. If you're living in an apartment complex, that should be very easy to just get buckets and tote them around with the nice covers. Here's a great suggestion as well. Now, these are the Gamma Seal lids. I've been using these for years now on the buckets that I use for our mobile washing, and they are amazing. They really do save your hands, because I used to have those little cheap white lids that I would use, and they were just not a good option at all. So they would hurt your hands trying to pop them open, and these seal down really, really well. It's a nice tight seal. Gosh, that's loud. It's a nice tight seal, and they screw off nice and easily. You can get them in different colors: black, blue, red. So check these out, guys. I'll have links to these down below. They go to Car Supplies Warehouse. They sell them there. So if you are, say, in an apartment complex and you can't use running water, then fill up your buckets, put these on them. That way they're nice and secure. And then you can be able to wash your vehicle, hopefully without people bothering you. And it's also relatively quiet. This is actually pretty quiet. I'll run it dry. It's okay. That's pretty decent. So I'm pretty impressed with it. You can get a longer hose, like I mentioned. This hose is replaceable, which is really cool. So guys, really nice options. I'm going to use this as my backup, or just for washing my own vehicle at home, or just for whatever. If I don't want to pull out any of my pressure washers, this is what I'll pull out. So guys, I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope you're able to enjoy some of the tips and tricks and suggestions and things like that. And if you are enjoying the videos and you want to continue to see more, then definitely consider subscribing and clicking that bell so you don't miss stuff. Thank you guys. We'll see you next time. Have a great week. Take care.